Hello and welcome back to another episode of Your Deep Life for Christian Women, the space where we explore faith, healing, identity, and the sacred journey of becoming. Today is a truly special episode as we celebrate the heart of the season with a Christmas special created just for you. Before we go any further, if this podcast has been blessing your life, I invite you to pause just for a moment to subscribe, like, and share this episode with someone who could use a little encouragement and inspiration this Christmas season. Your support means a lot to us and helps this message reach more hearts across the globe. I'm your host, Barbara Chambers, and I'm honored to be joined by an incredible woman of faith and purpose, visionary leader and transformational guide, Dagma Koyi of the Rest Centers. Dagma has been on the podcast before, and so today in this conversation, we'll be reflecting on our favorite Christmas traditions, the moments that shaped this past year, and the deeper meaning of this sacred season, not just as a celebration, but a reminder of hope, restoration, and divine promise. Christmas invites us to pause, to breathe, to remember what truly matters. It calls us back to love, to gratitude, and to the quiet miracles happening in our everyday lives. So wherever you are listening from, whether you're curled up by the tree, preparing a festive meal, or taking a sacred moment for yourself, I invite you to settle in, open your heart, and journey with us. Let's reflect, rejoice, and rediscover the beauty of this season together. Welcome to Your Deep Life for Christian Women, a Christmas special with Dagma Koyi. Let's begin. Hello, Dagmar, and welcome again to the Your Deep Life Christian podcast for women.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to be with you, Barbara, and also to see your lovely face, by the way. I tell you that you don't age at all. Yeah.
You know, I may not age, I may not look it, but trust me, there are days when I feel my age. But I give God thanks for grace and for beautifying me in his special way.
Yes.
So my sister, it's Christmas. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
I think this is the first year that Christmas, I'm not ready, to be honest, Barbara. I just felt like it came so quickly. And I think maybe because it was a very busy year for me, like there's just been back-to-back activities. And for that reason, it's just like I blink my eye and it's Christmas.
I know, right? I must admit, even I thought to myself, I can't believe the year is almost over. And it's like
Absolutely.
this year just flashed by, right? It just
So
literally just
quickly.
happened and just whoop, there you go. We're in December again. We're almost at the new year. I'm like, Lord, what is going on? I know your word says that you will speed up the
Speed up the time.
years. You will speed up the time for the elect's sake.
I
Um,
know.
but
But
you
we
know,
didn't
it feels
expect it
like
to be like that, right? Like so
no,
quickly. So I think
no,
that's even why we have to be so intentional about our living and capture every moment and the moments
yeah,
in between too, and
yeah,
understand that like time doesn't wait for us, and I think time is the resource that God has given us that we must maximize, and we also need to understand that it's the one resource that if you lose it, you cannot regain it.
exactly,
So, and
exactly.
even now I'm reminded of that all the more because like 2026, like, oh my goodness, like we will wake up again, Barbara. It will be Happy New Year.
No. But you know what? I'm grateful because, you know, this is my second Christmas not being in the UK, right?
Mm,
And it's been, and that was an intentional decision that I really want to do Christmas here.
Mhm.
But also my plan for the future is that, I want to become a snowbird.
I hear you.
I really do want to become a snowbird. I want to be spending my future Christmases on a beach somewhere,
I
right?
hear you.
And
100%.
just taking in all the warm sunshine. I love living in Canada and I'm grateful for this great land that God has blessed me in since I've been here. But boy, the winters, yikes.
I love Canada, but to be honest, if I had to choose, I
Yeah,
would rather be in a place that does not have winter.
yeah.
I think, winter is dark. Winter is like, yeah, we see the snow, yes, but after time, like it just doesn't feel, you don't feel the energy you feel in the summer.
No.
There's just something about being able to drive on the highway and put your window down if you so choose to, right? And I guess maybe that's the island girl in me. I have a friend and she left Connecticut and she moved to Georgia. And since she moved to Georgia, she's always hiking. She's taken up hiking as a hobby. And just,
Wow.
I think last week, she sent me this hiking pictures, hiking with nature. She doesn't have a winter jacket. And I'm like, maybe who knows? Maybe my future look like being in a place like Georgia. Who knows?
I understand exactly what you mean, right? But you're right. We have to be thankful and grateful for the blessing. This is where we are, and God has us in this particular place for this particular season. So, how are you and your family celebrating Christmas this year?
Christmas is all about family. And I think it started in my childhood.
Mm,
Growing up in St. Lucia, it was a different kind of Christmas, but it's the same sentiment. So in
mm.
St. Lucia, because we're in the island, that's the day you receive the most family members, like family you haven't seen probably throughout the year. And it's different from here where people announce that they're coming by. It's not like that in St. Lucia. You just need to prepare as much food as possible. So that's the time where people will, kill an entire pig, kill a goat, kill a pig, and there's just a lot of food because you're just expecting people will drop in from the morning until the night. And that's what
Wow.
people do. They literally go from house to house to house to house to house. So Christmas always had that excitement for me growing up, just seeing the love and then the spirit and then the caroling. Somebody would stop by for 2 hours, then another person 2 hours, and it's a lot of
Wow.
work too. Canada is different in the sense that everything is mostly indoors. Yes, it's
Mm-hmm.
more intimate. You
Mm-hmm.
may decide and prepare. You have to prepare and say that, okay, we're all coming together. So it's not unannounced, like in St. Lucia.
It's all
So
planned.
Christmas,
Everything
yeah,
here is always planned.
yeah.
There's
You
no
don't just show up at
spontaneity.
my
No,
door.
there's no spontaneity at all.
So exactly. So this year we're having Christmas at my mom's house, and I probably help with the cooking. That's what I'm doing today. Just helping with the cooking, and my mom cooks, my sister cooks, and we all eat dinner together and exchange gifts. And this is Christmas. Watch a movie, and everything is indoors. But what's more happy? What makes me happy is the fact that the kids love it, right? They're excited. And that's really the joy of Christmas.
I know.
Yeah,
I
what about you?
remember.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm unfortunately by myself this Christmas, but that's okay. I've got used to that. I will connect with my family later on, and we'll chat for a bit and I'll catch up with what they're all doing. It's different to when we were much younger, right? When we were younger, we were all together and it was my mom and
Mhm.
our house was the kind of house that we always had people staying, right? It was either somebody's friend who their parents and them had some disagreement and the parents
You
threw
had
them
that
out
kind
and
of
my mum's
mama.
like bring them, let them come, or it's somebody who just needed a space for a while. And so my house was very much that open door. My mother was very much about open door if anyone needs help. And even though we were a single parent family and mum had 5 kids struggling, she just it was like there will always be enough for everybody, right?
Oh,
And a lot of that came from, like, similar to your path, my
yeah.
grandparents. I remember as a young child growing up and going to Jamaica for the first time. I was about 9 or 10, and staying at my mother's parents, my grandparents, Malu and Papa. And they would every evening cook food in their backyard. And they had
Mm.
like this massive cauldron on a fire pit. And they're cooking up food, and yeah, similar. There's either a goat or chicken, or they kill a pig or something,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Something's being cooked, stewed, right? And there's hard food going on as well, and maybe boiling some rice or something like that. And I remember thinking, why are they cooking so much food? Right, because it just didn't make sense to
Yeah,
me. Because I'm like
yeah.
thinking, it's only like a few of us here in the house, some of my cousins live there, etc. And then I realized throughout the evening, I would hear a tap on the gate, and my grandfather would say, round the back, come round the back. And people would come, and I would see people who had torn clothes or no shoes on their feet. And this is where they came every evening for a meal. And so I
Mm-hmm.
understood why my mother did what she did, because she was modeling what she saw her
She
parents do,
saw.
which was
Mm-hmm.
helping people in need. And so, normally at Christmas, if I'm not by myself, I tend to invite other single people who I know don't have
Mm-hmm.
anyone, and they're by themselves. And I would say, come and spend Christmas with me because I'm here and I'm by myself. But if I'm in the UK, trust me, it's a massive family gathering, because it's the siblings, the grandkids, the great grandkids, the wives, the husbands, everybody is gathering. And it's just a whole heap of noise and excitement, seriously. And us Caribbeans, we don't do anything quietly, right?
No,
We don't do
no.
anything quietly. So there's either music going on, there's background, there's TV going on, there's all sorts of different conversations. The grandkids are running around, or the great grandkids now, because they're the younger ones, excited with all the presents. And all I'm seeing is my niece like, more to carry home, more to carry
Oh my
home.
gosh.
But it's
My
fun.
sister kids have grown, and I was thinking about like them. Like right now it's easier that they've grown because I just give gift cards. Like here
Yeah.
is a gift card, you do your own shopping. But you're right. I think Christmas always brings back the childhood memories. And in St.
Yeah.
Lucia, and you're right, we kind of learn and do what we see our parents do. So in St. Lucia, everything has to be brand new on Christmas. Yeah. I mean, I don't know about the UK or the places you grew up
We
in.
used to dress up. On Christmas Day was a dress up affair, and we always looked nice. We
Yeah.
didn't just get up and stay in our pajamas all day and just lounge around. No, it wasn't like that. Back in the day, it was we would get up, we would go to church for like six
Yes.
o'clock in the morning, 5, 6 o'clock
Yes.
in the morning. So we'd go to service, then we would come back. It was a cooked breakfast. And Caribbeans,
Fully cooked. Yeah.
oi, it was like
Ham,
your ackee
egg.
and saltfish, your ham, your fried plantain, your dumpling, your green banana, and whatever else. And then you've got your fried eggs, bacon, and God knows whatever else, right?
Mm.
And that was a meal in itself.
Yes.
And then we would have later on in the day, it would be like either we don't eat turkey in my family. We just find it too
Mm.
dry. So we would do a large chicken and maybe a leg of lamb or a piece of
Mm-hmm.
beef to go with it. And then you got your salads and your macaroni pie and your rice and peas or white rice, and it was just a feast.
Very
It was,
festive.
yeah, it was a feast. And my mum would go out. She would go all out when we were kids.
Yeah, it's the same here. My mom was a single mother too, and she
Yeah.
made the holidays so
Yeah.
special. I mean, in St. Lucia, they would paint their houses. Like people would paint, people would buy new
Wow.
appliances. I've always said that St. Lucian spent a lot of money at Christmas and then they broke in January because people went all out. This is when they got new appliances, they redid the carpet, they got new blinds, curtains. Like the house have to be spotless and brand new on Christmas Day. That's really where a lot of the investment. We were not doing so much of the Christmas gifts like everybody does gifts, 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 gifts. But there was a lot of food and there was a lot of love, a lot of family, and people really dressed their house for the same reason I said to you, right? Everybody comes over Christmas.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We had to decorate every part of the downstairs, the dining room, the living room, and you have like the nice front room, the living room. We
Yes.
had the living room that nobody was allowed to go in
Yes.
except for Christmas Day. Christmas Day, we were allowed to go into the living room, right?
Yeah.
And Mum would decorate it with all sorts of Christmas stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that's where we would just play games. We would do dancing competitions. And I remember when hip hop came out, and my family were learning, my younger siblings were doing the robot. And Mum's like, let me try it, let me try it. And I'm not joking, Dagmar, we laughed that day so hard watching my mum trying to do the robot. Oh gosh, but I think back in those days, it was just about you found joy and fun and laughter in the simple
In the
things,
simple things.
right?
It's true.
And we didn't have a lot. And like you, as you know, my birthday's in the middle of December, right?
Mm-hmm. That
So
so is mine.
yeah, exactly. So we're both. So for me, it was my mum would always say, "Do you want the birthday present or do you want the Christmas present?" I never got both. I just never got both. I had to always choose. And I always chose Christmas because I didn't want to be the one left out
Yeah.
when all my other siblings are opening their Christmas presents, right? So,
I know
yeah.
that feeling, and sometimes it feels like people do that a lot. Like you're born in December, my birthday is December 11th, and then Christmas Day. So people are like, okay, well, we'll give you your birthday on Christmas. And I'm like, that's not fair to me. The
Not
person that
fair.
had a birthday in April, they also had Christmas. Why you want? And then do you know my anniversary is also in December? So the one thing I made
Yeah.
my husband, but I'm like, you cannot tell I need a Christmas present, I need an anniversary present, and I need a
And a
birthday.
birthday present. Absolutely.
Because all three is in December.
Exactly. And that's why um, I have never worked on my birthday.
Mm,
The 15th of December is my day. I celebrate me and I will spend on me, right?
yes,
That's my day. And
yes.
so, because, it was very rare that I got gifts on my birthday. So,
Mm,
as I got older and I was able to extend that kind of special treatment to myself, I think my birthday is the day then I just celebrate me for the whole day. So,
wonderful, well deserved.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, I mean, last time you were here, we were talking about rest and lots of things were coming up for rest. I mean, how has this year been for the organization?
Oh, Barbara, I stand just in total gratitude, to be honest. I
Yeah.
remember in the beginning of the year, God gave me a word about expansion. Isaiah, I think, is it Isaiah 57 or 54? Probably can get it, but
Mm,
it's the scripture that says to expand the place of your tent.
yes.
So that word to me resonated with me deeply because I thought about it. And when I thought about the word, I want to get the scripture for you. It really challenged us. Let me just
Mm,
look for it. Give me. It challenged me. I thought it was a very, very timely word. And I also thought and meditated on that word a lot because there's a part of the word that says the reason why you should not be afraid of expansion is because of really your belief in God, right?
yes, that's right.
Um, because of your belief in God, because He's there to help you.
Mm,
I want to get it. Just give me a second. Let me see if I could pull it up.
mhm.
And and so in this year, I was very intentional of making sure that I was stretching because I felt like if God said to stretch, then He will feel and meet what you need.
Mm-hmm.
That you should not really look at the resources that you have or the things that you have to determine if you were going to expand your capacity. But the fact that I'd received the word from the Lord, then it was up to me to trust and to expand. So, we took on a lot of new initiatives this year,
Yes, I
quite a
know.
few.
Yeah.
And I have truly seen God's grace in, and I've seen that he has just done wonders, if you would ask me. So that we had the movie, and
Yes,
that
that was
was,
in September.
yeah,
Was it? Yes,
it
September.
was September. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. We launched the film, right? And that event itself was just like, I don't
It
know,
was
like for me it
phenomenal. That was
was,
actually phenomenal. I attended that event, and the Rest, as you know, is a service that provides housing security for homeless Black youth in the region of Peel, which is in Ontario, Canada. And the young people were sharing their stories through film. They um, wrote the stories themselves, right?
yes, they participated in the
Mm.
screenwriting,
Yeah,
exactly.
right. And some of them took part in the movie as well. And basically, it was just such a powerful um, presentation of their experiences and what it was like to be Black and homeless in Canada.
Yeah. And the event was spectacular.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was really spectacular. So I'm going to talk about some of the things that I did, but I want to go back to the prophetic theme that I got
Yeah,
for the year,
yeah.
right? Isaiah 54, 2 to 5. I have it with me. So it says, enlarge the place of your tent and let them stretch out the curtains of your dwelling. And
Mm,
then it says, do not spare. Lengthen your cords and strengthen your stakes, for you shall expand to the right and to the left, and your descendants will inherit the nations and make the desolate cities inhabited. And
mm,
then it went on to say, which is the part I really spent time meditating, it says, do not fear, for you will not be ashamed, neither be disgraced, for you will not be put to shame. For you will forget the shame of your youth, and you will not remember the reproach of your widowhood anymore. For your maker is your husband. The Lord of hosts
amen.
is his name, and your
Amen.
Redeemer is the Holy One of Israel. He's called the God of the whole earth. So when I thought about that scripture, it came with an instruction
Yes.
that we should expand, right?
Yeah.
Like we should enlarge, that we need to take responsibility
Hmm.
for taking steps towards expanding, right? So it's just like if you want to receive more, you need to have the capacity,
Yeah.
open up for God to fill it. And so
Hmm.
you're saying, like, stretch out your curtains because I could do so much more, but you have to have the faith to expand. But sometimes why we are, we have reservations is often because of fear.
Yes.
Fear of what? Failure, fear of what? Shame, fear of trying, fear of disgrace,
Fear of
and
people's opinions
people's
and
opinion,
criticisms and judgments of you, right?
all of that, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what I felt like the scripture also dealt with,
Mm,
because it said to do that, to expand, to strengthen your cords, to lengthen your cords, to expand to the left, to expand to the right. And then it went on to say, do not fear, for you will not be ashamed.
mm.
Right? So right there, the instruction was there, but God is reminding us that, while I know that sometimes taking a risk, sometimes going out of your comfort zone makes you feel uncomfortable. While I know that you may have all these fears that maybe, what if I fail? What if it doesn't work? What if there is
Mhm,
disgrace coming to
mhm,
me? What if I fail
mhm,
publicly? What if people
mhm.
see me fail? All of these things, he also dealt with it. And he's telling us, like, don't allow your emotions to rule you. Listen to my instructions and stretch. And then he went on to tell us, like, why you should not be afraid, because your maker is your husband. The Lord of hosts is his name.
Ah,
And the last part I love so much, he said, he's called the God of the whole earth. So what
yeah,
does that mean to us? You know, God, it shows us how vast he is,
yeah,
how big he is,
yeah.
how there is just not, he's the God of the whole
All
earth.
earth. Yeah.
Everything belongs to him. So
Mm.
when he gives us an instruction to expand, we need to have the faith to walk on the water. We have to have the faith that Peter initially had, that if it's you who bid me come, I will leave the boat and I will come, because I
Mhm.
know that you will hold me up. You will not
Mhm.
let me fall. You will not
Mhm.
let me fail. You will not let me see disgrace. And even if I may stumble, I may make a mistake, you are right there with me. So
Mhm.
I felt like that scripture in itself was so feel for me, because it was dealing with the thing that would probably prevent me from stretching, the fear of failing, um, the fear of not seeing the manifestation
Mhm.
or the
Mhm.
fruit. And the reason I should not fear is because he's reminding me, hey, the person that's instructing you is the God of the whole earth.
Mhm.
What can he not do? And
Mhm.
he's your husband, he's your maker, so you could trust in him. So that's why there's a lot of things that I did this year, and purely out of faith. Like, when the guy came to me and say, hey, I really think, because we were celebrating 10 years anniversary, remember?
Yes, that's
And then the
right. It
board
was
said, do
10
a
years.
documentary. The
Yeah.
board said, do a documentary. And then I was like, okay, do a documentary. And when I went to him, he's like, hey, I think a film would do great for rest, for advocacy. And I was like,
Mhm.
tell me a little bit more. And when he said it, I didn't have all the money, but he's like, you know what? I can work with you. You could pay this amount. And again, with me remembering what God said in the first year, like expand. He didn't say to have it. He said expand, strengthen, like
He's the
lengthen your
God of the
cords.
whole earth.
Do not hold
He
back.
will provide for you. Yeah.
Exactly. Do not hold back. And I mean, this taught me something very beautiful about rest. It taught me that we have amazing young people who are gifted and talented. And if given the right opportunity, they could shine. And it also gave the youth an opportunity to become an expression of the voice for the organization. So for the first time, I felt like I was moving from grassroots to movement, because it was no longer me sharing their stories. They were coming alive on stage and sharing their stories with such boldness. And
Yeah.
whether they did it in the form of art or film, like they did, I mean, they were not, these are not trained actors and actresses, but you saw the film
Yes,
and you
I
saw the level of excellence and dedication. So that was just one. And I really thank God for how, like, I had funders who came to that was like, wow, this was powerful. And we still have it as a live vehicle. So the summit now is the other thing, right?
Oh, wow. Listen,
This,
the
the summit was
housing
the other
summit, the
initiative.
housing equity summit that happened in November. Wow.
That
That
was
was a,
audacious.
yeah,
Like,
it was
that
radical. It
was
really
audacious.
was.
It was bold. Like, and so, so the summit in itself, it was a challenge. Like, I mean, we started off and, doing things as an organization, grassroots level, on a micro level. And now we want to do things on a macro level, because now we're going for systems change, policy, challenging systems, challenging policy, a medium organization, right? And so when we decided to do it, I was like, okay, I'm seeing where systems are failing the young people we serve.
Mhm.
And while we are at the bottom catching them, like one of the speakers rightfully said, the problems that the system are creating, we are there catching them. And it's never good enough. So why don't we target the root cause? Let's just go for Goliath head. Let's just go for the head of Goliath. So, so when I first said, I'm like, I'm doing a housing equity summit, a Black Youth Housing Equity Summit. And I didn't really have the strategy. I didn't have anything. I just know I'm doing this. And what I did, there was a lot of things that I did actually to bring this to pass. And if anybody's listening, I think they should learn from this. So sometimes a great idea may come to you and you may not have the capacity, but what are you willing to do to build the capacity?
Mhm.
So I took part in a leading social justice collective training. I went, I think it was 6 weeks, my Saturday mornings I
Mhm.
think from what, 8 a.m. to like
Mhm.
5 p.m. at
Mhm.
University of Toronto. I dedicated my time to going and learning from also people who have done movement, have done advocacy, have done macro level work, system level work. So myself and Ben from our team and another
Mhm.
member, we did that. I also did another training on shifting power for change leaders. So I built my capacity, in other words. Like, it was not something that I knew to do well, but I invested time and I invested money. in building and getting myself trained. And then we began to strategize. And it's all like, I really thank God for giving me a great team in Ben and Lara and the people that also work around me. We began to strategize. And I also worked with another friend of mine who has been doing a lot of convening. So I said, hey, like, I need your support in this. And he came on board, Victor, and we just began to strategize and say, okay, this is what we want. We want to be able to demonstrate that there's an overrepresentation of Black youth in homelessness. It is there, but nobody's talking about it. And so we need to bring it to the light. In doing that, we understood that it's not enough to think about Peel Region, because we know that the issue exists in Toronto, it exists in so many other cities in our province. So even when I started, people I began to reach out to is like, no, why don't you make this national? And I'm like, okay, because of the time we have, I cannot do a national. I think we will need more time to make it national in scope. So let's just make it provincial. So we gathered people from Toronto, we spoke to people from Hamilton, Durham, and we gathered the voices to do the overrepresentation. And we look at some of the systematic challenges we're facing and policy, and began to gather the leaders around that. And I kid you not, like, I think God's favor was upon it from the beginning. That what everybody we reached out to was so invested and so interested. They came with a unified voice. Like, they showed up, these leaders, these sector leaders, they showed up, and you could hear from what they were saying that there was a deep concern, and they also wanted to see the change. And I mean, like, when we were doing it, I think the other thing was like, okay, Dagma, like, this is the first time you're doing this, and you're bringing together leaders from across Ontario, right? You're bringing together public sector leaders, you're bringing together, leaders from the non-for-profit, government, all these being funders, right? So in your head, sometimes you could overthink, and I'm like, okay, in my head, I'm like, there's a level of excellence that is needed. Like, can we pull this? I don't have an event planner. Like, it's me and my staff. We got to do this. And I think I was in my head, I'm like, we have to do this well, because the truth is, Barbara, people judge you. Do you understand? People judge you, especially as a Black-led organization taking a bold step. And some people want you to fail. That's the truth.
And especially because, especially because you are challenging the status quo, right? You are challenging the systems that predicate the cycle that doesn't allow things to change for the lives of these kids, but it keeps them in this cycle of poverty.
That's right.
And never being able to get ahead, but stuck.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. And you're calling it out. So it was a day of truth telling, like, hard truth. Like, let's have the conversation. Like, let's call a spade. Like, let's say this is like racial discrimination. We see it. Let's call it what it is, right? This is systematic, this is inequities. Let's call it what it is. Systems that were not created to support Black youth, to ensure that they are thriving and have perpetuate, like you said, this poverty. When you think about a youth not having housing, and then the data is there to show that 1 in every 3 young person experiencing homelessness gets to graduate out of college. So if they don't even have a grade 12, because in Canada, the data also shows that 49% of people experiencing homelessness experience it before the age of 25. Wow. So that tells us like almost half of the population experience homelessness as early as a youth. So if we're not thinking about them, these same young people become chronically homeless. And being homeless also comes with a lot of mental health challenges. And I challenge anybody to think about it. You probably have never been homeless, but maybe think about if you cannot pay your mortgage, how would you feel? When if you just lose your job and you're like, oh my God, my mortgage. So think about that pressure that you feel and how you feel mentally. Now think about that 10 times on a young person that is 16. It's hard. So we're dealing with hard cases, and then you speak to people of power, and it feels like you're speaking gibberish, sorry to say, for lack of a better word, because it doesn't matter how much you try to make them understand. It feels like it goes over their head. And then they'll tell you, yes, they know, but then there's nothing that they do in policy. There's nothing that they do in their responses to show that they really understand the problem and they're willing to shift the needle. If anything, they're willing to keep what's not working, which is madness, and do the same thing,
thing
right?
over
Like
and over again,
that's
and you
insanity. Like if you want a
expect
different result, do something different.
different.
You
Exactly.
know, and the
Exactly.
difference will come, which is the saving we're calling for. The difference will come not when you sit in your office and begin to design with your so-called team of experts who probably just learn by going to school and get a degree. The difference will come when you listen to the people who are on the front line of these challenges, or listen to the people with the lived experience, the youth themselves, because they can engineer the solution. And so sometimes the things that they're doing and the responses that they're making, it's only creating a bigger burden and a bigger hurdle. And that is the challenge, is the gap between the system and the people on the front lines, or the people with the lived experience. So we need to close that gap if we're really willing to create solutions that work.
Yeah.
Right? It's about sharing of power, which people don't like to do. So I think for me, it felt like on those 2 days, especially when these young people spoke, like Barbara, I felt like I had reached a height in doing this work where I felt the most proudest.
Yeah.
Because I felt like, wow, I've been able to raise other young people to be change agents themselves. I felt like I can rest now, like rest will survive now. Like I don't need to be that voice anymore. Like you missed the second day, or you
I
don't know what
know.
you missed.
I
Oh my
know.
goodness. The
I
second
know.
day was, it was just, I don't know, it was just so profound. What was most profound about it? Like when they did the play, and then, it was a panel, like a fireside chat with the youth. So we didn't prepare them for questions. They didn't know what people were going to ask them. And people began to ask them, and their responses were so brilliant. They spoke about mentorship. Yes, we want mentorship, but we want to be mentored by people who look like us, that understands us. And they're like, and I mean, they were so bold. They're like, do you think if it wasn't for rest, we'd be here? Like, that's why you got to fund organizations like rest. Yes. And there was something one of the youth said, like, she said that, there's the past, there is the future, and there is the present. A lot of what's happening now is because we have done it wrong in the past, but we could make a decision in the present that will change the future.
That's
And I
right.
listen and I'm like, it's wisdom coming from these young
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
So we cannot do things without them. Like they have a voice, they have brilliance. And I mean, I saw one of the young people design a snake and ladder game just to demonstrate the challenges that they face going through homelessness and systems. And I look at it and I'm like, wow, like that's genius at work right there. Because even me, like I wouldn't think about doing a snake and ladder game.
But this is what's so incredible about these young people, is that even though they've experienced adverse challenges in their lives, many of them have come out of the foster care system,
Yes.
been in the foster care system for years. They've come out of the foster care system, and basically they're abandoned at the age of 18 to basically work it out themselves, right? And so but they've learnt resilience.
Yes.
They're incredibly smart and intelligent.
Yes.
Just because they're homeless doesn't negate the fact that they have so much potential.
Yes.
And these kids, they're not what I would call like criminals or drug addicts or any of that stuff, which tends to be associated with kids who are homeless.
Homeless, yes.
But these are kids who genuinely, desperately want a chance in life.
Exactly.
And they can't
And
get it.
homelessness buries their potential, right? It's just like it keeps
Absolutely.
you in a perpetual cycle of,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
poverty. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're just oppressed.
Yeah.
And you're right. Like when I look at the young people, like, when you go for experiences, like homelessness comes with a stigma. So if you're a young person going through homelessness, then your mindset, you're thinking sometimes you feel shame. You don't want your friends to know that you're going through homelessness. You don't want your
Listen.
friends to know you're in a shelter. So we had to really work on building the capacity to realize that you are not homeless, you're experiencing homelessness, right? That the next person also, there are many people who have experienced homelessness. So your story is your chance to show the world that you have power and showing them how to change their narrative. Because if they didn't come out to share their story, people will continue to think that every homeless person is a drug addict. Every homeless person is
Exactly.
because they choose to be homeless.
Exactly.
Every homeless person is a rebellious youth that just
Yeah.
decided. But
Yeah.
when you share your story, you get to decide what people will hear. And it's not people framing the story for you. So you have to see the story for yourself. And it's a freedom. And so they keep, there's a program we did called My Story, My Power. They even quoted it there. They're like, that really shaped them, because in the beginning, when I started Rest, it was very hard to get the young people to share their story. And you know how funders, everybody wants to hear the story. And we had successes upon successes upon successes. And when you ask them, they would be so shy because of the shame. Like nobody want to say that I'm homeless. Like they don't want to share.
Yeah.
So I was just like, no, we have to do something to help them to share their story. And we have to show them how to say it from a place, not of victimhood, but a place of power. Not seeing that I'm homeless, but seeing I'm resilient. I've navigated
Yes.
systems. Like I am resilient, right? And see that. And so the program was a whole year program. It had mindset. It had how to speak, how to do presentations, public speaking. We did all of that. And then at the end of the program, we gave them the ability to choose whatever way they want to express their story. And these people, I felt like we started a revolution, because these are some of the same youth that are now in the youth council. And you put them there, they'll speak, they share their story from a place of power. And I love it, because guess what? It helps the world to see that not every homeless youth means it's a bum. It's somebody that has no potential. These are kids that want a future. They are bright. They are the leaders, not of tomorrow, but of now. And they can be on the policy table. They can influence systems. They have a voice. They have something to say. And for me, like, I think that was like a pivotal moment in this whole journey for me when I saw Rest. Thank you. Now we have been able to mobilize the voices of the youth to lead, to show up in power. For me, I just felt like, okay, Dagma, your work is done.
No, it's not, Dagmar. We've still got next year to get through. But what is the plan for 2026 with Rest? And for you as well, I mean, I know you also did this year your women's conference, which was highly successful, well attended, and the feedback on that was awesome.
Yes, yes. I don't know. When I look at all the things I'm involved in, this is what I remember. I remember the parable of the talent
Yes.
and how God, he gave one talent, he gave another one five, he gave another one, I think, I don't remember, don't quote me, but basically he shared and he proportioned it. But the person that received the least talent buried the talent and they didn't do anything with it. But the person that invested their talent, what did God do? When he come back, he gave them more.
Even more.
So I remind myself of that when God gives me more assignments.
Keep investing, because you're investing and you're investing and he keeps giving you more. But isn't that the heart of the Father, right? He
Yes.
knows that the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. And
Yes.
here's the challenge. The challenge is that so many of us want to be used by God. So many of us have wonderful ideas and strategies and concepts that could transform the world, that could change communities. But because of our fear of what somebody else might say, what someone else might think, and then your own limiting beliefs of, well, I didn't get a degree, or I don't speak very well, or I don't have any money. But as you read that scripture, you said, He is the God of the whole world.
Right.
Right? And if God is the God of the whole world, He created the heavens and the earth.
That's
He
right.
created each and every one of us and gave us all skills and talents for His glory.
That's
But when
right.
we sit and we do nothing, we just keep sitting and keep thinking maybe next year, maybe next year, maybe next year,
That's
maybe
right.
next year, but we're still not doing anything. There
That's
comes a
right.
point where God will say, okay, no worries. I can see that you don't want to do this. So I will take it and give it to a Dagmar. I will take it and give it
True.
to a Barbara. I will take it and give it to so and so.
That's
Because I
right.
know if I give them the same, and so people are sitting there thinking, I had that same concept of doing that,
It's
but
true.
you didn't do anything with it,
It's true.
right? And as we approach 2026, I will challenge anybody listening. What are you going to do differently
That's
in
right.
2026? How are
That's
you
right.
going to invest in your own personal abilities and growth?
That's
Because
right.
you had to go and do some courses and do some
Definitely.
training to be able to put on
Definitely.
your summit
That's
and
right.
have the success that you were able to get.
That's right. I got mentorship too. Let's just say that
Thank
because
you,
the
right? So
vice
even,
president of United Way, he was like I was on. I mean, I went to mentors. So people don't like to get mentors. They don't like to get coaching. They don't like to invest. But I did. I understand that this was a new level. It's not
yeah,
something that I've done before. I've not done
yes,
system change. I've been doing micro level work. To do macro level work, I need to get with a macro level thinker. I need to be coached
absolutely,
by them, mentored by them. I need to get
absolutely.
their advice and help me to build a strategy. So I also got mentorship.
And let me say this, Dagmar, even though I'm a life coach, I have a coaching supervisor that I meet on a regular basis. I have a business mentor who also works with me to help me grow my business. I
Hmm.
recognize that I can't do this on my own,
Yeah,
right? And the people who are excelling, who are well ahead of me, are the people that I need to align with.
that's right.
So I choose my friends very, very carefully. I choose the
That's right.
people in my life carefully because I want people who are not going to just say, "Oh, it's okay, Barbara, just stay there and don't do anything." I have a Dagmar, I have a Nike, I have a Mitzi. These are people who push me
That's right.
to do more, who are encouraging me to do more. And so, we're not here to judge anyone, but we're just
Mhm.
here to encourage you
That's
to
right.
make 2026 a year that is like no other in your life.
That's right.
So for 2026, sis, what you planning?
2026, we will do the summit again.
Yes.
The summit, if anything, is like a catalyst. We didn't
Mm,
expect that the problems will be solved, so we have to continue the advocacy.
mhm,
So as we speak, we're designing a report, hoping to put together a youth policy brief and then bring it to some tables. We're hoping to set up some advocacy tables to continue to continue the conversation and to build
mhm,
upon it,
mhm,
building a coalition and then coming together more or less to see how we could advocate for the systems change that we need to see in order to be able to have better outcomes for Black youth experiencing homelessness and for us to see a reduction in those numbers, like
yeah.
overrepresentation of Black youth. It's not something that should continue. And we think that there are things that could be done systematically to help to ensure that we are providing better outcomes and seeing changes in those numbers. So that's one for RES. RES, we are launching, like we purchased the house, but we haven't done the launch. So in January, we're launching. We're launching the house first thing in the year, and we're hoping to also see how we could build on that into more properties, continue to expand our program. There has been conversations from other like regions about
Mm,
wanting to
mm,
see rest there. And so that's something that I'm hoping to build relationships to kind of strengthen that model of helping
mhm,
other, regions respond to
mhm,
youth homelessness
mhm,
in
mhm,
other communities where there is no culturally responsive
mhm,
supports or services. So
mhm,
building on that is something that I want to see in 2026. For me personally, I always believe in investing in myself as a leader. I do some professional development. Like I said, I did the training this
mhm,
year.
mhm,
For me, if anything, I want to grow my presence. Now that I am more or less advocating, I think I need to really grow my presence as a leader. And it's something
mhm,
you've also challenged me on. So
mhm.
I'm working on that. You know that I wrote the book, She
Yes.
Who Dares, and I don't plan to just put my book aside. I think that it was a commissioning tool. When I look at the journey, my life journey with God and the things that He has helped me to accomplish, the scripture that comes to mind is those who know their God and trust him shall do exploits. So people see and sometimes say, oh my God, how do you do all of that? I do it because the divine strategist is with me. I don't do anything of my own. I do things that I hear him say. I've learned how to build a relationship with God, and I've journeyed with God for some years in my life. And not that I'm saying I know everything, but I've journeyed with him to understand the way that he works with me. And to understand when I know that he's saying, this is what I want you to do, and this is how to do it, right? And having seen and tested that in so many times in my life and seen the outcome and seen the successes, I think I have an ability to help people understand what they need to do, understand how to shape their mindsets, because a lot of us are limited really because of the things that we think in our minds, right? That's really what stops us. And I was that person. I was that person once upon a time. Like rest was a seed that was planted 7 years before I took the first step. And that's because I had the mindset that was wrong. I thought that I needed a lot of wealth. I had to be Oprah, to do that. And I was like, okay, when I have that wealth, but then I learned that, hey, it's faith that's the currency of heaven. It's not money. So if you have faith, you really can fulfill what God is calling you to do today. You do not need to wait for that $1 million to make a move. When you make the move, God opens the door. God sends the right people. He sends the right resources. Like when I think about in the beginning of this year, when I said, okay, I'm having a summit, some of the people that spoke on the summit, I didn't know them. I didn't know them. You know what I'm saying? You know that, do you know that one of the last people, like somebody canceled and I had my same friend who was helping me and I called him, I'm like, oh my goodness, I need a voice from Toronto. He's like, wait, my sister. Right there, he got on the phone and he called this individual. He's like, look, my sister is having a summit. I know you know this work, you're in this leadership position. I think that you're ideal. In a matter of 5 days, this person said, sure, I'll be there. And he was an instrumental voice, right? Like, and in that summit. So what I'm saying is I did not have all the resources. I did not have the sponsors yet. You know what I'm saying? I did not have anything, but I know I said I'm gonna do this. And God said to expand, lengthen your cords. And I'm like, I'm lengthening my cords because I believe if I stretch, you'll feel all the gaps and everything I needed. And he did just that and more. So I am here to say that I feel like I'm going to do the same thing. And then, so the book is a commissioning tool to help walk women. And I feel like, so for me, part of the goal is to really start a membership group with women to help empower them, because I do believe that this is the time and the season where I see God is pouring out immeasurable grace upon women. To lead, to lead families, to shape nations, to shape cities. And too many of us we're carrying the wrong mindset. Yet you have a burning desire, yet the call is weighty, yet you're feeling uncomfortable, yet you are relentless because that calling is there. But the mindset, if you don't have the mindset, you'll never be able to fulfill that. So I see the book as a commissioning tool. So I want to make sure that I'm using it to activate the people that God has assigned me to. So I'm looking at how to structure and do that.
When I hear you speak, Dagma, I hear a woman who is truly rooted at the foot of Jesus. You're not just a Martha, you're also a Mary. And you've learned to sit at the feet of Jesus and really hear his voice and hear what he's saying, and then take action by faith. And you don't just take action and just go ahead every step of the way. You're constantly seeking the Lord for directions. And it's such an encouragement. And so Dagmar's book, She Who Dares, is available on Amazon.
Yes.
And I would encourage you, maybe that's your gift for yourself this Christmas holiday.
It's true.
To order yourself a copy of She Who Dares and use that as a book to get you going in 2026, right? And so that's what I'm encouraging you to do today. And not only that, it's Christmas. It's all about giving. You've given your gifts to everyone else, to family, to friends, to those that you love, even to yourself. But we're asking that you would make a special gift to Rest.
Thank you.
The Rest Centers is a agency based in Brampton, Mississauga, the region of Peel in Ontario, Canada. And they serve Black youth who are dealing with housing insecurity. And it's not even just housing insecurity. It's a full wraparound service that's supporting these kids so that they can fulfill the potential of their lives and be everything that God designed and created them to be. If God orchestrated Dagmar to organize rest, he sees the need
That's right.
that needs to be met in the world.
That's right.
God is not just a God who's in the church Sunday after Sunday. He's looking at what's happening in the world
That's right.
and what we can do to make a difference in the world. And
That's
so
right.
I'm imploring, I am asking, I am even begging that this Christmas that you go to the REST website, restcenters.org, and make a donation. And like I keep saying, the $5, $10, $20, even $50 is great, but we need greater impact. If we want to change systems, if we want to change the racialization of our young people and give them a hope for a better future, your donation is going to make that difference. And so, Dagmar,
That's right.
I am just so blessed and honored to have you here. What's your
Thank
last
you.
words before we shut down and go and finish off our Christmas celebrations?
Thank you. So today's Christmas, and I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, whether if you're friends, whether if you're family, and if you don't have family, know that the Holy Spirit is nearer to you than anybody
Yeah.
else, and He's right there with you. And we are most grateful for life. So this moment counts. I also want to encourage everybody to, just based on what we've shared today, we started off by saying that the year just went so quickly.
So
So
quickly.
understand that 2026 will not be an exception.
No.
The steps that you take today will determine what will happen, your outcomes in 2026. You do not have to wait for January 1st to be able to. You don't have to wait for January 1st. You know,
No.
everybody always be like, I'll do all these changes on
No.
January 1st. Start now. You could start now, like 5 days before the year end.
Do
You
you know
could
what,
begin to
Dagmar?
make
It is truly one shift in our mindset,
100%.
one shift in our thinking can
100%.
change the rest of our lives forever.
100%. 100%. And I just want to encourage everybody just based on my story, and you said it so well.
Mm.
We need to move beyond the place of seeing invest in ourselves and our purpose and the things that God has called us to as something that's costly. If you believe that you have a treasure in this earthen vessel, that the excellency of the power is not of you, but of God. God calls it a treasure. So that's the Holy Spirit. That's the abilities that He has given you. That's the skills. And when you invest in it, it shows that you know that you're carrying something very valuable.
Mhm.
So when we place value on what God has given us, we will see the fruit. Too often in our mindset, we limit ourselves and we'll look at something and we'll look at, oh, well, why should I pay a coach $5,000?
Come on.
Why should I pay a coach $10,000?
Yeah.
Don't you believe that what you're carrying is worthy of that level of investment? Do you value your life
Mm.
enough, your calling, your
Mm.
purpose, your
Mm.
destiny? I mean, it should be priceless if you really think about it. If you are here to fulfill God's purpose and plan for your life, and you know right now that you are stuck, you know right now that you could do with accountability. You know right now that you could do with somebody that will help you to see the blind spots, your limiting belief, to help you to shape resilience and to do better. Be willing to invest. Barbara is a great coach. That's what I want to say. Barbara is an excellent coach. Okay. She has journeyed through life, she has seen it all. And when it comes to resilient, I do not know somebody that's more resilient than this woman right here. So what you're carrying, I want to tell you, is worthy of an investment. And if we want to do differently, they said it's insanity to do the same thing and expect a different results. Today, you could begin to decide that I am worthy enough of investing in me. So connect with Barbara, connect with her. I know she has amazing programs, and begin to set yourself up for success in 2026. Because at the end of 2026, your destiny will thank you for it.
Yes.
Okay. You will have yourself to thank for it. So thank you so much, Barbara, for this opportunity. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of your podcast.
It's always a joy chatting with you, Dagma. And I'm so grateful for our friendship. I'm so grateful for your support. And, thank you for the opportunity to be able to serve Rest and be a part of Rest. And I'm just so looking forward to 2026 and what God is going to do. He always blows our minds. And so I'm excited.
That he would do.
So,
By the way, I didn't tell you that, right? In 2026, and I want to close with that. Do you know God gave me the theme for the conference already?
really?
Nation Builder.
Wow.
Nation Builders. And I'm excited about this thing. So, Nation Builders, yes.
Yes, yes. Listen, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Thank you. Merry
Continue to
Christmas.
enjoy the rest of your celebration. And I wish you all the best for 2026, every success as you choose to invest in you. When you choose you, trust me,
That's right.
the whole world will benefit.
That's right.
So God bless you.
Thank you.
Make his face to shine upon you.
Yes.
Until next time. Bye for
Merry
now.
Christmas.
Bye.
Bye.
What an amazing episode with Dagma Koyi. As always, the conversation is deep, rich, and just so fulfilling. I am truly blessed on this Christmas day, and I wish all of you, as I said earlier, a glorious and wonderful time, whatever you're doing, wherever you are. If you're on your own, like me, just remember that you are not alone. God is with you, and his presence surrounds you. Take a moment to just reflect and just be grateful for the year that you've just come through. And think about what it is you really want to do in 2026. What has the Lord been calling and pulling you to do that you've been hesitant about taking that bold step? I'm here to support you. If you need coaching, if you need someone to walk with you on that journey, schedule a discovery call on my website, yourdeeplife.com, and just let's have a quick chat. That's all it takes. There's no obligation. If you choose not to, that's okay. But I would love to work with you and love to help you on your way, get you going and on your way. Finally, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and don't forget to share. Until next time, Merry Christmas and bye for now.